What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris Mann. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of upstate New York here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a very special guest that's on with me today, as she is a singer, producer, also Emmy Award nominated singer producer, I should say. And she is someone that is in the music field and has been so for multiple years. Her name is Joan Hammel. And we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into the music industry, but we're also going to ask her some get to know you questions. So without any further ado, I introduce to you the wonderful, talented, and the beautiful Joan. Welcome to the
Thank
podcast.
you, Chris. So nice to be here with you.
It is awesome to be here with you too, Joan, and I'm so looking forward to this. And my first question is always the same with every guest that I have here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, and it's very simple. What is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models or any inspirations maybe growing up? But ultimately, what is your why for getting into the music industry?
Well, I grew up in a musical home. Both of my parents played and sang a variety of instruments. And so it just was a part of everyday life.
Okay.
And of course, school and church also was an opportunity to enjoy music and grow. And by the time I got into college, then a producer had invited me to come and audition at his recording studio, and that was the first real bigger launch, which got me to Vegas and with the Recording Academy, the Grammy Awards eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to me about that because you don't just meet people every single day that has a recording academy and associated with the Grammys. Like, how did that come about? That had to be a wonderful, tremendous opportunity. But I would love to know the journey of how that came about of that opportunity.
So, very specifically with the Recording Academy, I was invited to join that because the president of Chicago, there's different regions of the Grammys divided up, and the guy who was the president in Chicago saw me sitting outside of a session, and I had a small role in a movie called Groundhog Day, and he recognized me from that and said, "Hey, I know you. What are you doing here?" And I was sitting outside of a session with a very famous classical musician, Margaret Hillis, who was a very famous conductor here. And I was going in, was one of a few people that she'd ever invited to study conducting. And so we just happened to bump into each other. And he said, "I want to talk to you about joining the academy." And so Paul David Wilson, who had his own undeniable records with Frank Thomas, speaking of sports, of the
The
Chicago
Big
White
Hurt.
Sox.
Yep.
Yeah, the Big Hurt. He owned that record company with the Big Hurt, and so that's how I got started.
Are you still in Chicago? Because that's actually a
I
city I
am.
was born in.
You were?
Yeah, Cook County. Are you familiar with Cook County Hospital?
Sure.
Absolutely. So yes, my mother and father were both born and raised there. So dad from the south side, mom's from the west side. And I was born in Cook County. I still have family there. Actually was just there last year, or I should say, sorry, a year and a half ago for NABJ, which is the National Association of Black Journalists. They had the Chicago convention there on Michigan Avenue. If you are very familiar with Michigan Avenue, obviously you
I,
being from Chicago, you know
yeah.
about that.
Yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
that's
So
cool.
yeah, absolutely. So definitely, I love that. Now you went to Columbia College in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken,
I
and I
did.
want to know.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I say a South
Oh,
Side school. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say yeah on the South Side, but I want to know were there any other schools that you were considering going to, or was you stuck on Columbia College?
No, I looked at all of the colleges in the Chicago area. I had actually looked at some other schools earlier, and I ended up liking Columbia the best. The When I went to go visit the different campuses, I looked at Northwestern and DePaul and Roosevelt and a bunch of other schools which are all very good schools. But when I went to Columbia, there was a gentleman there running the television department who said, you're going to be a student here. Come with me right now. We're going to go down and get you enrolled. So before I even left my visit, he had me all signed up.
I love that. That is amazing. Now, I don't want to gloss over this because I know you mentioned it here. You say you had a small part in Groundhog Day, which is another similar thing that we have in common because that's exactly when my birthday is. It's on
It
Groundhog Day.
is
So, yes,
nice.
yes,
Happy
February
birthday.
2nd. Absolutely. No question about that. So that is crazy. Obviously, for those of you that don't know what Groundhog Day is, I believe it's the Bill Murray movie
Right.
that is big time and hilarious. And Groundhog Day pretty much is a repetitiveness of over and over and over again of doing the same thing. So, yes, Groundhog Day is definitely my birthday. It's always a special day for me for sure.
All right. Well, it's 6 more weeks of celebration with you.
Absolutely. Yes. No question. And it needs the 6 weeks need to come on and hurry up, Joan, because I'm about tired of the celebrating of the white snow out here. I'm now in New York, so I have not gotten away from the cold. I'm sure you're there in Chicago and it gets very cold there as well. But when I'm in town, I definitely will have to stop by and say hello to you. We'll have to do
That
something, that's for sure.
that would be great. Where in New York are you?
Upstate New York. So near Rochester, the Syracuse area.
My sister used to live in Syracuse, so I spent a lot of time up there actually.
Oh yeah, okay. See, look at all this similar stuff. I love that. I love that so much. Now, let's keep this thing flowing. I'm going to ask you some likes, some favorite things of yours, okay? And
Okay.
these are some favorite questions, and you just answer them 411 off the rip based upon these questions, okay? So the first question I have for you is favorite meal you like to cook.
Actually, my favorite meal that I like to cook is the birthday meal for my friends. So in our group, we don't do birthday gifts. We don't do like ugly sweaters or ties or things like that. I cook for you whatever you want for your birthday, appetizer, entree, sides, dessert, and drink of the evening. So that's my favorite meal to cook is a meal for my friends.
Okay, now can you, for example, name a couple of those meals that you have cooked?
Well, the entree that gets requested the most are is a signature dish of mine called Guinness ribs, and you put them in the oven with a variety of things, including Guinness, and you braise them all day until they fall off the bone, and they're cooked with carrots and some other things in there. And I serve those over some fresh mashed potatoes, and that is the favorite dish of my friends.
Lord have mercy, Joan. You make my mouth water out. I like that. That's what's up. I like that. That's what's up. Okay. Um, Let me ask you this. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Oh gosh. That's really hard because I've seen some really great concerts in my life.
Yeah.
And the Grammys is, anytime you go to the Grammys, your concert there is one person after it. Oh, I think I lost you. Oh, there you are. Um, okay. Because for an evening at the Grammys, you have one musical act after another, and so it's kind of hard to pick. If I were to pick a favorite individual standalone concert, it probably would be Billy Joel, because he has had so many hits, and you forget how many hits he's had, and he puts on such a spectacular live event. Um, but at the Grammys, my favorite closer was Santana.
Oh yeah.
Santana with Rob Thomas. It was just so electric. There are too many great performances, you know, at the show to really pick one, but those are a couple that come to mind.
Well, absolutely. How can you not like the piano man? How can you not like Billy Joel? I mean, Billy Joel he's iconic. No question about that. So I love that. I love that.
How about you? What was a favorite concert that you went to?
Man, favorite concert I've went to. I've been to many concerts. I'm a huge R&B person, so Alicia Keys is one of my favorites. I like I went to a
And she hosted the Grammys a couple times. She was spectacular.
absolutely Grammy performances. The Weekend is somebody who I love.
Oh,
Boys the Men, that concert was really good. Um, uh, I definitely appreciate. I would say Joe. Michael Bublé was really good too. Seeing him, Michael Bublé.
yeah,
So yeah, definitely those particular type of artists, the crooners, the singers. I love those because I just really enjoy R&B music a lot. So yeah, that's just some of my favorites for sure.
Now,
Um,
Boys to Men came down out of the ceiling at the Grammys when they performed. It was so awesome.
oh my
They
God,
came they came down in this like circular thing that was spinning, and they sounded so great. They sounded
absolutely,
so amazing.
I love that. That's what's up. Okay.
All dressed in white, you know.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm actually going to check out. They're coming out on concert again, so I'm actually going to go check them out in Atlanta, Georgia, when I go back and visit some family. They have a new edition, Tony Braxton and Boys the Men concert tour, so I'm going to go check them out. So hopefully, they still sound as sweet as they did before. That's for sure. Hopefully, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Um, it's ironic because it's in the news this week, and that is Puerto Vallarta. I loved Puerto Vallarta. I went there a number of times, and to sit there at the ocean side, watching the sun go down on the giant lounger chairs was pretty spectacular. Although I would also pick Belize, spending time in Belize in Central America. I got invited to Francis Ford Coppola's place in Central Belize, and that was just they have little guest cabanas on the property there, and it's just amazing to be in the spot where they shot Apocalypse Now and
Well,
be
yeah.
in the jungle there. It's amazing.
That is definitely a iconic movie, Apocalypse Now. I remember watching that movie and I had to do something with a report because it was a film class and they made us watch that movie and that movie was a long movie. Long movie for sure. But I remember
And
having
a
to do
wild ride.
yeah, wild ride, no question. So I remember watching that movie for sure. But I need some Rex because Belize is definitely something that I definitely want to go to at some point. I would say my favorite place is Jamaica. I love going to Jamaica. That was a great place, great vibe, great food. It was hot as hell. Not gonna lie about that. But other than that, everything else was really good. And I absolutely loved it. So yeah, okay, that's pretty cool.
Well,
I'm a
anything in the Caribbean is good. I lived for a short time in the British Virgin Islands in Road Town, Tortola.
oh,
Um, and so I scuba dive. I love to scuba dive. And, Jamaica, Belize, anything there in those Caribbean waters it's just so beautiful
it
there.
is. It is.
I like it a lot.
Okay. All right. I'm a fellow scuba diver myself, so I love that. Love that we have that in common too. So I love to do that. I'm a sports person, Joan, so I'm going to ask you a sports question. This is a two-parter. Favorite
Uh-oh.
sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They could be the same sport.
I think for me, I just really love baseball. I love to watch baseball on TV. I grew up as a kid watching the Chicago Cubs, of course, because my mom's uncle would have it on, and I remember coming home from school and he had the always had the game on if they were playing. And so that's a favorite childhood memory of mine is coming home and walking in and hearing Jack Brickhouse announce the Chicago Cubs and the games that were going on. So and then my son plays basketball, so I'm going to have to say right now in person, watching my kid play basketball is my favorite in person one.
Okay. Where does he play basketball at? You don't mind me asking.
He's in high school. He's 15
Oh, okay.
and he's
Um,
he's 6'5", and so He's been playing some basketball, so he's getting ready now to do a little bit of travel team starting next month again.
Well, I'm very hopeful that I get that one day maybe I will get to cover him because that's what I do as a sports reporter field. I love to do that for sure. Obviously you won my heart over, Joan. I mean, you said basketball, so that's definitely my favorite sport. That's what I grew up on. Even though I was born in Chicago and do have some Chicago ties because I am a Cubs lover, do love the Cubs. I was raised in San Diego, California. So
Okay.
that's definitely where I was raised. So I'm a Padres fan, through and through. I love baseball for sure. Love the Lakers, pretty much every sport except cricket because I don't understand the damn sport. But other than that, I love every sport out there. But I love the fact that you're a Cubs fan. Have you ever been to Wrigley Field?
Of course.
Okay,
Of course.
okay.
Yeah, I many times. And, when my friends' kids were little, I took them. They used to have all-star breaks at Wrigley Field where they would have the players who didn't go to the all-star game open up the field, and they invite all the kids to come out on the field and, hit the ball and do some fielding and have a great time.
Absolutely. I'm a historian of the game too. I mean, a lot of those Cub players, the Mark Graces, God rest his soul, Ryan Sandberg, also Sammy Sosa, Kerry Wood, some of my favorite players that put on a Cubs uniform. Mark Pryor, another pitcher that was pretty good. But also, if I'm not mistaken, Ernie Banks also played for the
Yes.
Cubs. And they had actually, if I'm not mistaken, they had a World Series run in the mid '80s, if I'm not mistaken, or they got close to it, close to the World Series. They didn't win it, but they got close to getting to the World Series, if I'm not mistaken, in the mid '80s, for sure.
And not too long ago either. Yeah, they were just
Absolutely,
playing the World Series here. So
absolutely.
yeah.
And
And
let
Sammy Sosa was one of the guys that was there for the All-Star break with my friends' kids. He was so great with the kids.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, 2016 finally broke the 108-year curse of the World Series in 2016 when the Cubs won and defeated the Cleveland Indians. That was amazing. I mean, I jumped up for joy, especially for my family back home, which is huge Cubs fans down there in Chicago. So, yeah, no doubt. I love that. Last of the favorites. Now, you're
Okay.
a fellow Chicagoan, so I know you know about deep dish pizza. And I know you know
Yeah.
deep dish pizza is live there. It's definitely very good. And Pizzeria Uno's is one of my favorite places that was there that I went there. Tell me, where is a restaurant that you like to go out and eat at?
Oh gosh. Um, I it depends on what you're in the mood for, right? There's so many great restaurants in Chicago. Like, give me an example of what food do you really love, and then I would make a recommendation.
Oh,
What do
steak.
you really
Steak and potatoes
steak?
is good for me. I love some protein.
Okay. Well, then I might have to have my son cook you the steak because he is the best chef cooking the steak, and he's like other kids watch TV, he watches YouTube videos on how to make a steak. So
Mm.
for his 12th birthday, he wanted a tomahawk steak.
Oh, wow.
And he did a reverse sear in the oven and this whole elaborate thing. So I think you might have to have the kid cook you a steak.
I love that. I'm huge into steak, chicken as well, ribs, which obviously you made some ribs, so yeah, might have to try your ribs, that's for sure. I'm a huge carnivore when it comes to stuff like that. Now, I gotta ask, how do you like your steak?
I like it medium rare.
Okay, well, girl, we official like a referee with his whistle. We are absolutely good. We are absolutely good because I'm the same way. Medium rare.
Okay.
I did not grow up that way. I have to admit, did not grow up that way. I used to eat it well done, and I would lather it in either barbecue sauce or steak sauce, and yeah, it would be good. But now, give me a little red. It's okay. Medium rare. I'm good. That thing is so good. You don't even need no sauce on it. That's how good it is.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are off to a great start here, Joan. Now, I want to talk to you about your day to day process. Now, as a journalist, as I can speak for, No 2 days are ever the same, especially as a freelancer. Freelancer, I'm covering different games, I'm pitching different stories, I'm always doing something different, but I love that. I love the flexibility, and I also love the fact that you don't get redundant doing the same thing over and over again, because I would probably just go lose my damn mind if I was sitting at a desk doing something over and over again, the same thing. Tell me
Yeah.
about your day-to-day process of what you do. How long do you normally work, and stuff like that.
All right. Well, like you, every day is different, thankfully, but there are some threads that have to, be the same a lot. So vocal practice has to be a regular, routine and working out because singing is very physical. And so I have to make sure that I devote time, regular time to staying on top of that. Um, but one day, I may like this week. I'm meeting with a Latin expert on Thursday because I'm writing a choral piece, and I need to make sure that the first verse in Latin is correct. Yesterday, I had a Grammy meeting. We were talking about some different plans down the road of what's going to be happening for Chicago chapter, and I do a lot of mentoring of people coming up. And so some of my week each week is trying to help the next person to, crack open a door and get the skills and experience that they need. So it could be from performances, lots of meetings, lots of Zoom meetings. Um, thank goodness for Zoom during COVID, because that
Absolutely.
would have been too isolated, I think, because it went from lots of live shows to no shows. That was a huge adjustment for me.
For sure, for sure. Now, when you talk about singing, is there a genre that you don't touch, or is there a genre that you do more than the others, or do you just do it all?
I would say that in my career, I've done a lot of pop, rock, country, and classical. Um, I've done some R&B stuff, but certainly no hip hop and no rap, um, nothing like that. Um, but I've played the keyboards on tracks for other people who do that, right? So I play some instruments, and so I may not be singing on it, but I've played keyboards on a lot of jazz stuff. So it just depends on who I'm I love to collaborate with other performers, and so if they need something, they call me, and you want to write something, want me to record something, I'll do it.
What is the time frame? Because I'm always intrigued, especially by singers and songwriters and just producers stuff like that. What is the time frame for you to write a new song? Like, how fast have you written a new song? But also, how long has it taken you, like the longest time, to write a song?
That's a good question. Sometimes it comes as fast as like an hour. You sort of get. I'm sure it's the same way when you're writing for sports. There are days that the subject matter or the topic it just comes very easily. You're in a
Yep.
groove.
Yep.
The people you're with, it just comes very quickly. And then there are other songs that I started some time ago that still need some work. So, it depends on what the priorities are for getting some of the work done, right? So, if you have to crank on something, then I'm a fast writer if I need to be. Um, but I also like to take time sometimes in working on certain projects to sort of come back to it, revise it, and revise it, and revise it until you're happy with it.
Yeah, for me, it's writer's block. I definitely get some writer's block at times, depending on how to, write the story and how to be able to put my words together. I have all the information, but you try to make it as descriptive as possible, especially when you're storytelling, because you're writing to an audience that has to visualize it. So you're trying to be able to be descriptive as possible, and sometimes it is writer's block. And I would imagine, has there been times for you that you probably have writer's block, or where ideas came to you, you've been laying in bed at night and late at night, and then an idea comes to you and bam, you got to get up out of bed and write that down so that
Yep.
way you don't forget it?
Yeah, I remember the first few times I thought, oh, I'll remember when I wake up. Nope. So always keep the pen and paper. One of the things that I learned from a really successful songwriter here in the Chicago area was that you just write everything down first. All of the thoughts you have, just put them on the page. Don't edit yourself. Just put everything on there and sort of give yourself a little bit of time to just brainstorm a bunch of ideas, and
Right.
then go back and take a look at them and see how they may or may not fit together. And
I
that sort
love
of gets
that.
the
I
juices
do. I love that.
that
How
gets
many?
the juices flowing a lot, and then you don't get writer's block, right? You just, because you're not criticizing yourself. Many times as a creative person, I know you probably are your own worst critic, and so
Yes.
um, taking the time to just let it all come out and then go in and massage it into whatever piece you want.
Absolutely. Now, what's the longest? When does your day normally start? When does your day normally end? Because obviously, we love doing what we do, and you love music, you love creating, but you also are Joan, and you have other interests outside of music. So tell me, when does your day start? When does your day end? Typically.
I would say usually I'm in my office around 9:30. And then I have to, do some other things with my kid in the afternoon, usually for an hour before dinner. And then I often come back to the office, after dinner for an hour. So, I would say 9:30 to 5 with the lunch break, and then an hour or two in the evening. And then I also work on the weekends if
Wow.
if I can, if there's a slot.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I'm just intrigued with this bonus question I have. What's the most songs that you have written in a week?
Um, I would say probably 5.
Wow.
I would probably say 5, but that was also during um, a dedicated time to, um, where it was a retreat. I'd won the McNamara Fellowship, and so they just carved out time for you to do nothing but work. And so there was no responsibility, not even for cooking. They had a person there doing the cooking
Wow.
and that stuff. And it was great to have, you know, undivided, undistracted time to work, because the rest of us have real lives,
Absolutely. Yes.
stuff to do, and the clothes doesn't wash itself and the food doesn't cook itself. So
Amen to that. I'm with you on that. Okay. Okay. Now, great segue though, because now I want to talk to you about mental health and work life balance. Now, in the journalism field, I've seen a lot of journalists leave this industry because of their mental health being affected. I've also seen them leave because of work life balance, not having the right balance, not being able to find that right balance for them. I think, personally, my opinion, I don't ever think you find the balance 100%. I think balance is different for everybody. And you just try to manage it as best as you possibly can. But I want to know for you, how do you keep your mental health strong, but also still have that work life balance? Because you seem like a wonderful woman to be around. I certainly wouldn't mind being around you. And I think your friends and family feel the same way about you. But you also are very passionate about what you do as far as work. And it's tough to find that balance to be able to give everybody, equal amount of time. So, how do you keep that without burning out or being overwhelmed?
I agree with you about always striving to have the best balance you can, you know. And especially as new projects come and go, I think there's a flexibility that has to be there,
Sure.
so that, you know, I have each year in January make a goals list, but I leave it with room for those unexpected things that absolutely do come up.
Right.
And I forgive myself from not finishing everything in the way that I want to immediately right now, because sometimes those opportunities that pop up are are too good to pass up. So,
Right.
but as far as a balance, I think one of the great things about music is that it is sort of a therapy, right? On days that you're happy, you have happy tunes going on. On days that are challenging, maybe you take it out on the piano a little bit.
Right.
Um, and I think it's a really healthy way to to go from day to day, have musical expression. The same way that I think sports allows people to get out. Maybe you need to go for a run, or maybe go play catch for an hour or something. It's just so good to get physically moving, and it's the same thing with music, to get the body and the mind going because it makes a difference, I think, to have that connection.
Yeah, I like to work out. I like to write poetry. I like to
Nice.
I like to be able to uh, go to different music festivals and different things like that. Just be outgoing to get away from sports because I know me particularly. Sometimes when I do write sports, and I talk to my friends. They always want to debate me in sports, and it's like, can we just talk about something else? Can we talk about anything else? Like, I love sports, but I don't feel like debating with you about this. Like, that is my occupation. That's my job. That's what I do. But I'm much more than just a sports reporter. Just like you're much more than a musician, right? You love music, but having those debates of always, well, what's the greatest song of all time? Who's the greatest artist in this and that? Or what's your, like, let's talk about something else. Do you ever have that kind of mindset with people?
I think for me, what was really strange was the beginning of COVID. That changed a lot for me because I went from doing live stuff and I sort of kept waiting to get back to the old routine of what that was.
Right.
And my whole life had been about being ready for the weekend shows particularly. And and I think that mentality eventually eased into, oh gosh, I don't have to get all worked up this weekend.
Right.
And and so I had a little time there for the first time in my life that I was like, "Ooh, I got a break." I don't have to be so on top of it every second. And so, yeah, that was the first time that I really was like, I think having a break was good because you come back and you're fresher and, you know, come back to it with a different kind of appreciation and passion.
Absolutely. I love that answer. I really do. I want to ask you this next one here because I want to ask you about advice. I want to ask you, what advice would you give an individual, male or female, that wants to be in the music field? You see a lot of people sometimes, especially in the city of Nashville, they kind of break out their instruments. They go to these bars, they play in these open bars and start playing. But you see people that kind of like freelance it a little bit. But what kind of advice would you give someone that wants to be a producer or wants to be a singer or songwriter in the music field?
Well, I think the first thing that I would say to them is to get around other people who are doing what you love to do
Okay.
and observe and learn and take notes and get your hands dirty if you can. To sit in a recording session, there's nothing better as a student if you want to learn how to produce or be an engineer or be an assistant in the studio. To get in there and do it is the best. And then the other thing that I would say is, because so many people in the music industry or any industry who are doing something that they love may not be able to make their living at it.
Right.
And I I don't want people to feel discouraged or pick on themselves that it's not their full-time gig because um, it, it's so few people who really get to do that full time. Even those of us in the union, there's only a small percentage of us, and there's no shame in having excellent work done and not have it be your full-time job.
I like that second part that you just said. I really do, Joan. Because a lot of people sometimes get a misconception of media life because they see people either on the TV screen or read your music or, just see your finished product. That they don't understand what the grind really is. Number one. Number two, they think that there's a different perception out there of, well, they must have it made because they are doing this full time or they are doing it or they are in front of the camera or doing something that they love to do. And it's a lot of people don't understand behind the scenes of what actually goes on and what transpires. Um, from a journalist perspective, you definitely have a lot of people that have hands in the basket that's allowing your articles and different things to be able to be portrayed either on broadcast or in print. I can only imagine in music when you're producing something or engineers, like you mentioned it, or when you're songwriting, you probably have different eyes and different ears and different people in the room that's listening to what you're writing. And even if you have a finished product, typically with writing, you go back and do revise it and you revise it and you revise it over and over again. So it's it's sometimes people can get a misconception of that. And do you think that is accurate by me saying that, or do you think that it could be something else?
No, I think it's a misconception because they can't possibly know, like for you, all of the things that go into covering a sports event, or it's a whole lifetime of knowledge of history, and then it's the mechanics of putting it together.
Right.
And unless they do it, they can't really understand it, you know.
Absolutely. Do you mentor anybody?
Yeah, a lot. A
Okay.
lot. I'm a part of Grammy U. Through the Grammys, they have a program for college kids who are looking to get into the business. And so I've done that for a lot of years. And then I also have done it through Sound Girls is a group devoted to making safe spaces for, because there's not too many women in engineering and
Right.
producing. And so um, their goal is to, in part, to provide safe spaces for females to work as engineers, or in other fields, live audio, recorded audio. So I've done a lot. I've done a lot through my old high school. I used to have a lot of interns, and it's been great to see some of my former interns go on to do some wonderful things.
Absolutely. It's always a benefit for that. I love that. I want you to give me a top four of, I would say, either events or maybe songs that you would like to write that you haven't done in your career that you would like to do in your career.
Okay. Well, there's a couple, I could fill all four of those with songs for a stage production that I'm putting together right now.
Oh, okay.
So in this last year, I've done more writing for the stage. I had a short play that I wrote on the stage at Steppenwolf by the Perennial Theater Company here in Chicago,
Right.
and so I am getting closer to finishing a musical piece now, and so I need to crank on those songs. It's one of my goals for the year to finish that up. So we'll see if I can finish it.
Okay. Now, I'm a huge musical person. Literally last Saturday, I just saw the musical Wicked, which is probably top three.
Oh, sure.
Um, I want to ask you, what is your top five musicals? You give me yours, and I'll give you mine.
Oh boy. Well, I really love West Side Story. I think West Side Story
That's a good one.
is um because the whole thing, the music of it is so great, the choreography is so great, the book is so great. Um like there are other musicals that I like that maybe they don't have all of those same pieces to the extent that I think West Side Story has.
Right.
Okay, you tell me one of yours now. You said Wicked.
I did. Wicked, Hairspray is number one for me.
Interesting.
Huge Hairspray person. Number two, I would probably say Hamilton. So Hamilton, Hairspray, Hamilton, Wicked. Number four is Annie. No question. Number four is Annie. Number five is Little Shop of Horrors.
I love Little Shop of
Yeah,
Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah, that's a pretty good
Yes.
one. Pretty good one
Yeah.
for sure.
Audrey too. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I like there's so many more I like from Rent to Jersey Boys, Mamma Mia. I don't know if you even call this one a musical, but The Greatest Showman. Um
Oh, sure.
yeah, that's one of my favorites. But yeah, those are some ones coming off the cuff that I really really enjoy. But yeah, Hairspray is number one for me, which is also coming out here to upstate New York. So I'm definitely going to go see that live.
So fun. That's such a fun musical.
Yes, absolutely. We have ran into the part of my podcast now that we're going to play my interactive game called This or That. So it's a game that I like to play here, Joan, with all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, and it's very simple. I'm gonna throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So, are you ready?
Oh, I don't know. Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. So, out of these two restaurants, Which restaurant would you rather sit down and eat at? Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn Steakhouse?
Um, oh gosh, that's too hard. Um, I guess Texas. Maybe I haven't been to the other one enough. I don't know.
Well, which one did you say?
Texas.
Oh, do you like the cinnamon buns? The cinnamon rolls?
It's just I like the stuffed potatoes. They have those awesome potatoes there, the giant sweet
I know.
potatoes or
Yep.
whatever. Yeah,
Yep. I know what you're talking about. Okay, cool, cool. I'm with you on that. Out of these two flavors, which flavor would you rather put on the chicken wing? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
barbecue.
Would you rather eat your wing wet or dry?
Wet,
Would you rather eat a boneless wing or bone in?
bone in.
So you like to get messy.
Well,
I love it. Hey, this okay. Ain't no shame in your game. I love that. I'm the same way. I am the same way. I love a wet wing, barbecue or lemon pepper. Garlic parmesan is very close behind, and so is buffalo. Both of those sauces as well are very close, for sure. Okay, I'm with you on that. We are cruising along. These next four questions have to do with music concerts you rather attend. So here we go.
okay.
Which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather go see Beyonce or Rihanna?
Um, See, I'd say Rihanna because I haven't seen enough of her. I feel like I've seen Beyonce a bunch of times at the Grammys, so I feel like I'd want to see Rihanna.
Okay, got you. Here we go. Here's another one. Which music artist would you rather go see? Pink or Katy Perry?
Pink.
Oh, you was very decisive on that. I like that.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. Okay. Which music artist would you rather go see? Morgan Wallen or Luke Combs?
Probably Luke Combs.
These are all artists that I absolutely love. I love these artists.
Yeah.
Great artists, no doubt about that. Okay.
My son would disagree with me. He would want to do Morgan Wallen, but you know,
Oh, he would go see Morgan Wallen.
I think he would.
Okay.
Even though Morgan Wallen has had some troubles.
Yeah, to say the least. You being very
Yeah.
kind on that. No question about that. Okay. Which music artist would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Carrie Underwood or would you rather go see Usher?
That's I've seen Usher and he puts on such a great show, and so does Carrie Underwood.
Yep.
Um, I think I might do Carrie Underwood just because of the female vocal thing. But
Okay.
Usher puts on a great show. He's such a great dancer.
Oh, no question. No question. Love them both. I would definitely, that's the one we definitely disagreed on for sure. I would definitely do Usher for sure, but Carrie Underwood is great. No question about that either. So I love that. Do you like snacks or desserts?
It
I should
depends.
say. Okay.
All right, depends. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. I'm going to name four categories of desserts. You have to choose one of these to get rid of. Okay. So here we go. First category is going to be cookies. The next category is candy. The third category is grouped together, so it's pies/cakes.
Okay.
The last category is ice cream. Which one are you getting rid of?
Ice cream.
Wow, that is a shocker. Okay, I like that though. But so what is your I'm going to ask you this. What is your favorite cookie? Type of cookie?
Um, I would say probably a chocolate chip cookie.
Okay. Okay. Very basic. I love that. And
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, do you like potato chips?
K kind of. Not really. I don't really have too many of them. If I'm gonna have it, it's gonna be barbecue.
Okay, I was going to ask you barbecue. Okay, so out of these four brands, you got to choose
Okay.
one of these brands to get rid of. okay, that you wouldn't eat.
Okay.
So here we go. The first brand is Ruffles. The next brand is Lay's. The third brand is Pringles. The last brand is Doritos. Which one are you getting rid of?
Ruffles.
Oh my goodness, John. Oh no.
Am I killing you?
That killed me right there. Girl, we was
Yeah.
vibing until you said that. Oh my goodness. But that's okay. That's all right.
But I'm not really a chips person, so it's not
Th-
really, you know.
Right. So I was gonna say that you're not really a chip person, but if you and I walked into a grocery store and I said, Joan, go buy your favorite chip that you're going to eat. Now you said barbecue, but what brand of barbecue chips would you buy?
Probably Crunchers.
Say what?
Crunchers.
Who is that?
It's like a barrel fried super crispy chip.
That must be a Chicago thing. You might have to give me some of those when I come out there for sure. 'Cause I've never
Okay.
heard of that brand. I've never heard of Crunchers.
Okay. Well, what's your favorite?
Oh, well, my favorite is Ruffles. Yeah, you threw away
Okay.
my favorite. That's for sure.
I'm sorry. Well, see
It's okay.
the good thing is that you wouldn't have to compete for them. You could just eat them.
That's very true. Sour cream and cheddar is my favorite Ruffles chip. That's definitely it. A close second is sour cream and onion. So yeah, either one of those are pretty good for sure. Okay, I like that. When it comes to sports, the last two on this or that, which sport out of these two would you rather watch on TV? Would you rather watch football or would you rather watch hockey?
Uh, I would say football.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Last one. Out of these two sports, which one would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Badminton.
Are you good at badminton?
No.
Joan, you said that so confidently. Like I thought you was really good. I really did. Okay. That must mean your bowling skills are just not up to par. Is that what you're saying?
Uh, no, it's kind of funny you say that because I actually have bowling trophies, but um, yeah, from when I was in school, I did really
Okay.
well. But
I love it.
maybe it's because it came easy that I didn't really care for it. Um, I don't know.
I love that. I'm gonna have to put that to the test because I'm definitely I'm a bowler more so than badminton
Okay.
for sure. I'm definitely going to put that to the test for sure. You did very good on this or that. You were very decisive. I love that. I don't think we'll ever have a shortage of food places to go because I think we're on point with the food places for sure, no question. Now. I want to ask this next question, and this next question has to do with a top four, but it's about Chicago. When I
Okay.
come back there to Chicago, give me a top four of places that I should go to and visit.
I would, if it's a beautiful day, I would start in Millennium Park. It's right on the lake. You have Cloud Gate, aka the Bean. You have huge, beautiful parks there in Grant Park, Millennium Park, and it's right on Michigan Avenue.
Yep.
You can walk over to Buckingham Fountain. It's a great place to just go outside and see a lot of what Chicago is in a like a half an hour's worth of time. Right off the park, there is the Cultural Center, my favorite building in the city, which has Preston Bradley Hall, this magnificent stained glass roof. It's just so beautiful, mosaics in there. So I would start there.
Okay.
Um, and then you're a sports guy, so you have to go to Wrigley Field.
For sure. For sure. Yes.
So
Yes.
you got to go spend a little time over there.
Yep.
I don't know where the Bears are going to be, so I don't know if we can recommend Soldier Field or not. There, we the talk is who knows where they're going to end up right now.
Well, they passed the bill because they're contracted with Soldier Field all the way up to 2032. So they're still going to be there for multiple years. But after 32, they're moving to Indiana. From what I got the gist of the actual bill that was passed, and I'm like, wow, they're going to be the Indiana Bears. know they're going to keep their name, but Indiana is the one that's going to benefit. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, which is absolutely insane that we could not get a new stadium or renovations done to Soldier Field to get it built. That's just insane to me. But I digress. I'm sorry I cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people who are with you on that commentary for sure.
Absolutely.
Because is it going to be Arlington Heights? Is it going to be Chicago? Is it going to be a different suburb? Is it going to be Indiana? So the chat is ongoing for sure.
For sure. For sure. Give me one more place.
I would probably recommend that you do a river cruise, an architectural river cruise.
Oh,
Um, what's really great about that is it takes you all inside this area of Chicago that's just so beautiful. You get to see the architecture, you get to go past beautiful homes, and it's just a different way to see the city and learn a lot about it.
oh, I definitely like boats and water and cruises. So you named three things I absolutely love. So I definitely will have to check that out for sure. No question. I love that. What is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to? Like we talked about advice you gave, but what is some advice someone has gave you?
I would say, as a young person, a really bit of helpful advice that a friend's mom gave me was you can't please everybody. And that has really helped me a lot through so much of my life because uh, you just can't do everything and be everything for everybody else, and so you have to hold on to what's most important to you and make decisions based on that and do your best.
Some pretty sound advice, no question about that. I want to ask this question because you talked about Grammy U. Can you explain to me, because the people that would not know and people that would not know about Grammy U, what does that entail? Being on the board of the Grammys, because the Grammys just happened February 1st, earlier this
Right.
month. Talk about the process of what is your involvement with that. Also, give me your opinion of what you thought about this past Grammys. How did they do as far as the show goes and stuff like that?
All right, so I'll start with Grammy U. Grammy U is a program devoted for college students. So if someone is male or female, it doesn't matter. They're a college student and they're interested in the entertainment field. There is a program that the Grammys have to help build networking, to get them opportunities to meet other people in the industry, and to have one-on-one mentorship with someone if they want that
Yeah,
to help them in their careers. And
I
so
like
the
that.
process for that is the student applies through the Grammys, and then the Grammys match them up to a mentor. They try to have songwriters with songwriters and engineers with engineers, but sometimes there has to be a little flexibility. Um, if there's a law student, maybe there's not a lawyer in their specific area where they're going to be to connect them, and so it may be a general person to help them. As far as the Grammy show itself, it really is an impossible task that the staff takes on every year because music is so subjective. We
Yep,
all like what we like. We don't like what we don't like.
yep,
And so to try to find a balance of a little bit of music for everybody to try to have the audience stay through maybe learning about an artist they didn't know before. And so it's really a very difficult task. And then you got to figure out schedules, who's available and who isn't, right? So it's a really monstrous task, but it's an amazing machine to witness of when you're in person how they have the stage divided kind of into three areas. So on this side of the stage, they have this group ready to go. Then they have the MC in the middle, and then
right.
they have this group ready to go. And so it's between 12 and 16 acts in a show. And they'll have this group perform, then they'll have the MC talk, and then they'll do this group. And then it's time for a commercial because they got to switch out all that staging. And they
Absolutely.
move on these giant platforms that they have all in the backstage area. So it's an amazing logistical thing to witness.
And did you get a chance to attend the Grammys there?
Not this year, but I have in years past.
Okay, I like that. That's actually one of my bucket list things to be able to go to the Grammys. I mean, I don't know if regular people get a chance to go. I think I'm not sure if it's the invite only thing, but I certainly wouldn't mind going to witness the Grammys. Is there any other music award shows that you do that you get a chance to go to?
Um, I have gone to the NAMMYs as well. That's the Native American Music Awards.
Hmm,
Um, One of my collaborators was a Yakima tribal member, and so a song that we had written together or worked on together was nominated. So I went to that, and that was a very different experience than the Grammys. Um, the Grammys is big and spectacular,
absolutely.
and lots of competition. And the NAMMYs is a more intimate affair. And the thing I loved the most about that group is they really were cheering each other on in a way. It was such a lovely community. And I feel like I got to witness people genuinely cheering for the other person who won, who may have beaten them. It was so lovely.
I love that. I do. Is there any projects that you could talk about that's upcoming for you that people should look out for?
Well, right now I'm working on a choral piece, um, soprano, alto, tenor, bass choral piece, um, because the Pope is coming back to Chicago probably sometime this year. And so I was asked to put something together.
Wow.
And so,
For the Pope?
so I'm for the Pope. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. No, that's amazing. I love that. I'm sorry. Keep going.
So so that's what I'm working on right now. That's why I'm meeting with the Latin expert on Thursday to just make sure that I sung most of my life in Latin, but to write in it is different, and I want to make sure that um, it's correct what I have written. So,
For sure. No, that's awesome. I love that. What I want to do is I want to do some rapid fire with you. And that's basically a little different than this or that. This or that is basically me giving you a couple things. Rapid fire is the first thing that comes to your mind, Joan. So I want you to just shout it out with glee, okay? No pun intended. So, first
okay.
thing that comes to mind based upon these questions. Here we go. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes,
Chicken or ribs?
ribs,
Juice or soda?
juice,
Favorite color?
aqua blue,
Mm. Favorite Netflix TV series or television show?
favorite Netflix flick specifically would be Ted Lasso.
Yeah, that's a funny damn show. That is funny. I like that. That's awesome. That's so awesome. Favorite sandwich?
Monte Cristo.
Who? Whoa, back up. What is a Monte Crisco?
It's French toast with ham and Swiss cheese. Yeah, grilled.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, got you. Favorite alcoholic drink?
I'm not really a drinker. Um, if I'm gonna have something, it's probably gonna be a cocktail of liquor 43.
I like that. I like that. Favorite board game?
Oh, um, I don't know that I have one.
Ooh, maybe not
We
Scrabble,
do more. We
sorry,
do more cards.
but
We do more like card games and stuff. Yeah.
okay, okay. Favorite card game?
I poker.
Are you Texas Hold'em or three card stud?
You we sort of mix it up like blackjack and yeah,
Oh, okay, I got you, got you. Okay,
yeah.
if you had a choice to choose three more people plus you, so a total of four, to go on vacation with, who would you choose and where would you go? Now, Joan, before you answer this question, you can choose family, friends, or celebrities.
Well, I would take my family and I would go someplace that had a beach.
Okay, okay. Someplace that had a beach. Any place specific or any family member specific?
Well, my family, my husband and my son,
Got
and probably my sister,
got you.
and someplace warm. You know, I love the Keys of Florida Keys. Any
Awesome.
place in the Caribbean.
Oh, that is absolutely wonderful. I love that. Okay. Now, if you had a choice to choose between three songs or three artists that you can listen to on repeat and never get tired of, who would those three artists or three songs be?
Oh boy, that's impossible. That's impossible. It's like saying you were saying who's the best. You know, you argue about sports. You can't ask me. You can't ask me who the three people are. There's too many beautiful choices.
There is, but if you're stranded on an island, and that's why I think if you never get tired of listening to them, and you can listen to them all the time and never get tired of them, what is the first three artists that come to your mind?
Oh my gosh, that's just impossible. I would say Carole King would have to be one of the people. Tapestry album,
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
and
Okay.
then there's so many best of artists. So many best of albums that I listen to on rotation. That I. How about you? Who would you pick?
Oh, immediately, Michael Jackson. That's one. It doesn't matter the artist. It doesn't matter the album. The next one that I would choose is probably R. Kelly because I love R&B music. I love his music, not what he does and who he is, but his music is very good. So Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, and then I gotta have me some Jay Z because I gotta throw some rap music in there. I gotta have some music that's gonna be some bangers up in there, like just yeah, I love that. So MJ, R. Kelly, and also Jay Z. I would never get tired of listening to their catalog because they have so many different albums, so many different songs. I can listen to them on repeat.
Well, I R. Kelly's from Chicago, and so
Mhm.
we I got to meet him, before he was famous, and so we could spend a whole nother session talking about Robert. Yeah.
Oh, wow, we could. And we might do that on part two for sure. I would love to hear some stories about that. That would be amazing. I want to ask you if you had a choice to write a genre of music. And what I mean by that is you write all different kinds of genre, but if they came to you and said, Joan, I want you to write this particular genre of music all the time. Out of these three genres, which one would you choose?
Okay.
R&B, rock, or classic?
Um, I probably would say R&B. I just love R&B so much.
Okay. Okay. I like that. Let me
So
find out
many,
if you got a
so
little
many
soul in
great
you.
ballads, so many great ballads, and fun tunes. I don't know.
All right. Let me find out if you got a little soul in you, girl. I like that. I like it. Okay. That's what's up. Now, if they said to you, a couple more for rapid fire, but if they said to you, Joan, I want you to do a different profession outside of music. If it wasn't being a singer, a songwriter, producer, performer of that sense, what occupation do you think you would have went into and you would have been very successful at?
Well, it would have been television production. I did do that until music took off, and I love television production.
Okay, I'm with you on there. Now the last two. We're going to go back to the sports. Which sport
Okay.
which sport would you play that you would absolutely dominate in and be really good?
Are you giving me a choice or just
No, no,
just to
yeah,
pick?
to pick for you to pick.
Okay. Um, hmm. What sport? Um, I don't know. I would probably say mountain biking. I
Okay.
love to mountain bike.
That is definitely a first here on the Work Hard, Play Hard podcast. Nobody has ever said mountain biking. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the opposite. Which sport would you play that you would absolutely be terrible in? The number one sport that comes to your mind.
Curling.
Mm. You would be terrible at curling?
Yeah.
I did not see that. I would think amazing person, amazing woman like you singing and being able to be on coordination and stuff like that. It takes coordination to do that curling stuff.
It does, but it's like this whole sweeping thing. I don't really understand it, you
Okay.
know.
Well, I totally understand that. I do understand that for sure. No question. I love the answers and I've loved this conversation. This conversation has been absolutely amazing. Just learn about your why of getting into the music industry, but you also being explanative and explaining some of the things that you do as far as being a part of the Grammys, as far as doing the singing, the songwriting, some of the projects you have coming up, some of the advice that you give, some of the people that you mentor as well being there in Chicago, which is one of the biggest type of brand type cities out there that you can find. No question about it. Chicago has a lot of history and has always have a special place in my heart. And you as well have a special place in my heart as well, Joan. So I want to say thank you again for being on my podcast. And my final question to you is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, the job, or anything at all before we conclude?
I don't think so. I think you covered it really great, Chris.
I appreciate that, Joan. Well, I thank you again. You and I will most certainly be in touch, and I look forward to seeing you in the Windy City.
Sounds great. Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
All right.